Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to the Jake's and Stream Emporium. Today we're gonna have a bit of a different stream day. We're gonna be playing games. We might be playing games later today with Kanas, but that's fine. But for now, we're going to be looking at some stuff. I have a conversation I want to have. I have some stuff I want to talk about. Because there's some things that I find interesting that I want to share with you all, and that I don't know, it's a thing I think about a lot. So yesterday I was hanging out in the Soldier EU Discord playing some games after the Strife Cup, and I was talking to one of my homies. Actually, I think this was the first time we were in voice chat ever, who used to play in the beginners tournament, and all around nice person named QuackDogPix. Cool homie, and was just like, wait, one of the first things they asked me was like, yo Jake, is that your real name? And I was like, yeah, kinda, because Jake is not my government name, but it's what I go by, not in Danish. So again, I'm from Denmark, right, and we speak Danish as a national language, right? And my government name is Jacob, or, well, as I'll explain later, Jakob. Jacob, Jakob, which is a great name. I really like Jakob. It's a reference to a Danish politician who added Nutella to the army's field rations. He wanted wind to hit the back of the cyclists all the time. Like, he was a comedian who ran for politics and got in the Danish parliament, which it's great. But yeah, he used to be part of a group called Jakob or Finn, and my granddad is called Finn. So they found that would be a funny reference to a comedian and politician. So that's where that name comes from. And I really like Jakob. I really do. I, however, don't enjoy the English Jacob. I don't like that. It has, there's a Y in there, and I don't know, it feels awkward to me. I don't like it. And there's a reason for that really came up in my teens. But before we go there, why I use Jake is one of my good friends, Eric, just out of nowhere started calling me Jake. I think in our teens, once we started speaking more English, especially when doing online gaming, and sometimes there were people from other countries around, and he would just use Jake, and everyone else started doing it, and I really like Jake. Jake is a good name. It's excellent. It has the same feeling as Jakob, to me at least. When I think of myself, I'm like, yeah, that's Jake or Jakob, depending on what language I'm thinking in. Jake is very good, right? But that's kind of why I've done that. And then Jake's end moniker comes from a poem I wrote when I was dealing with suicide issues a couple of years back. And I wrote a poem that essentially, it has been before as an idea, and essentially the poem concluded in Jake's end is not coming yet, which I really enjoy. The name is kind of self-empowerment of me saying I'm not going to kill myself, because Jake's end is in my hands, and I will choose when that comes, and it's not yet. And that brings me a lot of joy, and that is a big help for me in progressing from suicide stuff I dealt with. But I'm out of pansexual. I can do this too. One of the reasons I really don't like Jacob is that when I was a teenager, there was a really big book series named Twilight. Now, trust me, I'm not one of those who's just like, no, fuck Twilight, that's what the girls like, fuck that shit. Because I fucking love Twilight. I fucking love Twilight, homie. I really. Twilight was a book series that I was into like paranormal fiction, so when I heard like we have like vampires and werewolves, I was fucking in. But I like got the description from a close friend of mine who was a girl, and just like described it as, yeah, there's this love story going on, but it's also looking at more paranormal stuff, and there's like vampire society is in over, and like I read the books. I read the books, and the first one is honestly really good, and it really deals with the like, do I want to live forever question, and it's also just a cute romance. And this is the thing I realized this morning. I was probably way more into Edward Cullen than I realized back then, because back then I didn't realize I wasn't straight. But I was very into Edward. That's yeah. We had that realization this morning. And then the second one comes, like, I read that, and there's like all this vampire society stuff going on, and it's really interesting. The third one, their relationship gets deeper, vampire society pops up more, and it's honestly very fucking interesting. She starts having these dreams. And then the fourth book, the first half is incredibly goated. I find that thing so interesting. It is building up to a big conclusion that I was excited for. Like, they are going to have a clash with this Vampire Society Council, and it has been foreshadowed for all the books, essentially. And then it doesn't happen. That definitely left a sour taste in my mouth. Like, I'm genuinely still a little bit pissed about that. I am so pissed that they were like, yo, they are literally setting armies up in front of each other, and like the battle starts, and then it was all a dream. Like, just fucking backtracks on it, and I'm so angry about it still. Like that, this still genuinely gets me heated. I'm so angry at it. But also, Jacob's a pedophile, and that's just the only thing I can think of when I hear that name. And it gets me back because people in Danish used to refer to the character from Twilight as Jacob. And I was bullied a lot in grade school when that came out. I think people back then realized I read the books because it's like, it's a good book, fuck off. And when I think of Jacob, I don't think of myself, I think of a fictional character whom I kind of dislike. Jacob, Jake, I think of me, that's why I use that. So yeah, Twilight is literally the reason why I don't use Jacob. That's it. It's not even deeper. But also, for real, I think I'm really happy I read Twilight and gave it a chance. And because I think that was like the start of the cracks forming in the shell that is me. And me figuring out sexuality and like being cool with growing my hair out and realizing that I can like romantic things and that poems are cool. And I feel very weird about my connection to that franchise, but there is genuinely some banger moments in there. Like, genuinely. Like, so apparently in the Twilight universe, vampires, when they first get turned, are incredibly OP. And there's a great scene where one of the vampires is like very buff bro type, is like teasing, I think she's called Bella, I don't remember at all, the main character, about like, yeah, we can hear you banging. And she's and she challenges him to like an arm wrestling competition and just like breaks the table they're doing it on because she has the new vampire buff. And there's something in my heart that just smiles thinking of this, like, small girl walking up to this big, burly dude who's teasing her and just grab the hand, yoink, through the table, lightning strikes, douche, and she wins. Like, there's something incredibly awesome about that. I genuinely think that book is part of why I'm very into Vampire the Masquerade now. And yeah, also, yeah, Sensei, romance is hype. I didn't realize until I was an adult that, you know, romantic media can be very good. And it turns out most media can be pretty good if it's made with love and care. And yeah, that's why I use Jakob and Jake.